My name's Dale Veron. I'm the CEO for Fortune Bay Corp. We are a TSXV listed company under the symbol FOR and also in Frankfurt under the symbol 5QN. We are an exploration and development focused company. Our main asset, our flagship asset, is the Goldfields project located in northern Saskatchewan that has an indicated mineral resource of just around 1 million ounces of gold, 200,000 ounces in inferred with exploration development upside. We've also recently picked up a uranium project right on the doorstep of our Goldfields project that has potential for an Athabasca unconformity related basement hosted deposits. We also have an asset in Mexico, the Ixhuatán project, that has a historical resource of just over 1 million ounces in indicated and 700,000 ounces in inferred.
Dale, good to see you again. How are you?
You, Matt?
Early in the morning for
you. Very good, and you?
Yeah, good. Look, we spoke back in April, okay, and I'll point people back to the link below, which we talked about business plan strategy, how you got here, team, etc. We also kind of dealt with Mexico as a sort of outlier in the portfolio and what you're doing with that one. So it's parked up for now. Has anything changed with that?
No, okay. The Mexicans are a great asset, but we're still looking at opportunities for that to advance it.
Okay, and I think you talked the last time of the most logical thing to do with that would be find a partner to advance that in some way, shape or form.
Correct.
That's still the plan. Okay, cool. Okay, the thing that caught my eye since we spoke, if I'm honest, uranium.
Yes.
Right? Slight departure from what we last talked about. Why?
Well, I think we should just remind people, our flagship asset is still Goldfields. We're going to remain focused on that. We're going to advance it. It's a great project. We're starting to see some excellent results from our exploration. But on the doorstep of Goldfields, we spotted a great opportunity. As a group of explorationists and with an exploration focus in the company, we continue looking at opportunities and obviously understanding the geology around our gold projects and obviously being close to Canada's original uranium mining district. We were looking at the geology and we spotted this just amazing opportunity that was available for staking. So we went out and staked that, and after discussion with the board, we decided to bring it into the company and start to advance that asset concurrent with our gold project.
Isn't it a distraction?
No, it's not a distraction. Had we gone off to Namibia to go look for uranium, that would be a different story. But it's right on our doorstep. We've built a really good operational hub in Uranium City. We use that hub for our Goldfields project, and to do exploration on our doorstep on a uranium project is not challenging for us. And to boot, we have uranium experience in our team.
Okay, so tell me about the deal. I do want to pick you up on that with the relevant experience. So, how much did it cost you? How much do you think you're going to be needing to raise to spend on it, or have you got the capital now? I mean, what is the big thinking? You don't go make this kind of decision casually.
Not at all. This was a staking opportunity, so it's a really low entry cost for us. It was a overlooked opportunity that we spotted. It's really just staking fees, which is a nominal amount in Saskatchewan. It's very favorable that way. We're able to pick it up and work through the historical data. And as we did that, we realized there's just fantastic data sets in place for the project, work that had been done by Cameco from 2005 to 2008. The ground, we all know it happened in 2008. The ground lapse 2012. We're all familiar with what happened at Fukushima in 2011. And this opportunity sat there with these great data sets that provide an initial basis for drill targeting.
Right. So tell us, who's the person on the team with the relevant experience to advance this?
Well, my previous experience, obviously I've had a lot of gold experience, but prior to joining Fortune Bay, I was with Denison Mines Corp as their VP Exploration, and we made 2 discoveries with Denison Mines, Griffin and Husky. Those are high-grade basement-hosted deposits. That's the exact type of model we're looking for here at our Strike Uranium project near Uranium City, which has really checked all those boxes in terms of the exploration criteria you'd look for in a project that with a basement-hosted potential related to that Athabasca Basin. Outside of my experience with uranium, our senior project geologist worked with Cameco Corp. So he's had experience on numerous projects across the Cameco portfolio, including the exact type of deposits we'll be looking for. And then our technical director, he worked in a consulting capacity before joining Fortune Bay and spent quite a lot of time working with Fission Uranium on their Triple R project, on the exploration drill planning and also the resource work.
Isn't this going to get a bit confusing for investors to understand what you are? Like, we've got gold, got a bit of silver, we've got a bit of copper somewhere in there. We've got uranium now. And I get the background. I do remember the conversation we had last time about the uranium background and why go into gold. But now I'm going to ask the question is, are you just jumping on the bandwagon, or is there something you're more comfortable with in uranium?
So, first and foremost, we're explorers and with the development experience. So we're going to go out, we're going to always look for opportunities for the company, for our shareholders. We have been focused on gold, but, when we spot a good opportunity that we think can deliver upside for our shareholders, such as this uranium project we saw, we thought this is an excellent opportunity that provides an extra exploration optionality for us. In terms of jumping on the bandwagon, I agree with you, our timing could not be better to have a uranium project. But this is not something we've just quickly picked up because we saw the spot price go to $50 a pound. It's something we've been looking at opportunities around this project since last year, since our new team came on board. It's something we've worked up over the last few months. We've been in the field. We've verified these historical uranium occurrences. We've seen the historical mining at the Tenor Zone, and we've confirmed that the attributes around that mineralization are what we call a basement-hosted, unconformity-related style of mineralization. So we believe there's potential for something larger and high grade, which everyone's familiar with in the Athabasca Basin.
You are explorers, but the company, in terms of its persona and perception in the marketplace, needs some kind of structure to. So just be really clear with people what the model is in terms of where you create value. Where you're going to look at any exploration. Can we expect you to see diving into graphite next? I mean, How do you move this forward?
We'll continue to be gold focused. Our main asset, we mustn't forget that our main asset is gold focused. We've got a resource. It's a project that has a lot of drilling. We've seen the exploration upside. We're testing that. It's got development upside. We totally focus on that. This is an additional opportunity that can provide, exploration potential for us. It's easy to operate. We can't say exactly what's going to happen down the road, but we've got, approval from our board to start to advance this project. Depending on results, we could see, who knows, a spin out. I can't say exactly what's going to happen, but we have a unique opportunity here to advance something that's a really compelling project on our doorstep where we're exploring already.
So tell me, given your experience and given what you're seeing in the marketplace, and there's definitely a moment now for uranium, which hasn't been like this for a long time, a decade or so. This asset is beside Lake Athabasca, right?
Yeah.
You've seen some of the conversations one of your old horns, Denison, and some of the issues that they've got with regards to getting licenses with freeze domes and now freeze walls, and various other conversations being had by other Athabasca-based companies to be able to get through the permitting licensing process. And you've got to have to take a view as to eventually it'll happen, or actually, as an asset, as a play, as a market play, rather than a mining opportunity. Let's go with this. Let's kind of work this up, do what everyone else is doing. We'll create some short-term value and be able to, use that to help reduce any potential dilution for shareholders on our gold project, because better value equals cheaper money.
I don't see this as a market play at all. It's a mining play, Matt. It's a very unique opportunity. I've looked at tens of projects, in the Athabasca Basin during my time with Denison. This is a very unique opportunity. Yes, we are on the shore of Lake Athabasca, and that's pretty much where the Athabasca Basin sandstone ends. Now, we're not in the lake. We're on land. If you look at our land holdings, we've purposely staked the area on land. It's almost 10,000 hectares in size. And what we've seen there are these EM conductors, which are these graphitic rocks. When we've seen the graphitic rocks in the field that have a substantial strike length, almost 12 kilometers of strike in total. And we're seeing the right ingredients along these structures. There's known mineralization along there. Cameco's come in and done a great job with airborne surveying, ground surveying with the geophysics, EM magnetics, and also, put boots on the ground and picked up rock samples showing there's elevated radioactivity in the basement rock, showing there's the right geochemical signatures and also the characteristic alteration associated with these types of deposits. So we see potential for a mining player. We are at what we call the tenor zone, which was mined historically. They mined over 1,000 tons there at grades of 1.5 to 3%. Those are exactly the types of grades you see in these basement-hosted deposits. Look at NextGen's Arrow deposit, Fission's Triple R deposit, Denison's Griffin deposit. They're all those types of grades. And it's not just the grade. We're seeing the right types of rocks, these graphitic rocks, and we're also seeing the right types of alteration. And the beauty of it is there's all this work, that historical work that has been done in place to prove there's uranium, there's an endowment there, but there's almost no drilling. There's only 7 holes across this 10,000 hectare property, only 3 holes in the area where the mining was done, and it's just simply not properly evaluated. So we see a unique opportunity to go in there to do. We don't need to do too much before we drill. The data sets are in place. They're great data sets. We think gravity would be a great next step for us, and maybe some ground gravity and magnetics. Gravity can identify these bigger alteration halos through a gravity low, and we can go test those where they're coincident with these EM conductors or graphitic rocks. So we think we've got a unique opportunity to advance us quickly into a drilling stage and create a real mining play, with exploration success, of course.
And obviously, with uranium comes, concern. You have First Nations. We've seen them in discussions with lots of uranium juniors here. We've seen what's happened with baseload and how they've managed certain conversations. And I think you've got to come at this the right way. So, how far in terms of proximity to the lake, in terms of what you're going to have to be able to prove technically, and the cost of being able to deliver that technical confidence. How do you go about managing that? I'm probably harking back to your previous experience here, but you know what I mean. It looks fantastic to the market locally. You got a few more issues here. How far away is it from infrastructure, for instance?
So our property starts on the lake, but it's really on land. So any mining scenario we're looking at there is going to be a land-based mining operation. In terms of communities, of course, that's really key these days and really important. We've being in Uranium City, we've had the advantage of being able to build early relationships with the community and the representatives for the First Nations in that area, and we've continued to do that as part of our exploration consulting. So we're at an exploration stage, and we believe we're implementing the appropriate engagement consultation at this stage, in conjunction with obviously working with the government on the permitting side for exploration activities.
Okay, I know it's early days. I'm not going to dig you out about how you go about it. You've got a lot to do before you move things forward and even get to drill. Certainly in terms of getting some permits in place for that. Should we talk gold? I've seen a press release out. Nice gold numbers over decent intervals. If I look back, if I just say this, you've done everything you said you would do, right? In terms of getting resource at Q1, you've done your 5,000 meters of drilling. I guess, are you waiting for assay? There's a few assays coming out. Are you still waiting for any assays?
Yeah, there's still assays to come from our final 4 holes at the box deposit.
Right. Okay. So just want to remind myself that you are doing everything that you say. I look at your share price. You've come off like every other kind of precious metal chart that we look at the moment. Is it sort of encouraging? Well, it must be encouraging to see the grades like this, but is it really kind of demotivating when looking at the market reaction to the work that you're doing, when you're doing everything that you say you're going to do?
Yeah, absolutely. We all would like higher share prices, and especially when you set a plan in place, you deliver on that plan. Not to have seen, and we've got the results. We announced we've expanded the Thona deposit. We announced the initial 3 holes from the box deposit. Those results are really solid, good set of results. So of course it is what it is. It is disappointing, but gold is where it's at the moment, and we're seeing gold equities trade at their biggest discount to gold price ever in some cases. So it's challenging, but our shareholders are very patient, and we're looking at it as a long-term play. We believe we can build value as an exploration company, build value with the drill bits, and then through certainly development on our gold project. So, we're going to stick to that plan, and we know this is a longer-term game, and we're going to deliver that value over the longer term.
So how's cash at the moment?
Cash is good. We're at 1.7 million. Considering we've come through a busy year, busy season of drilling, assays, other activities in the field, looking at regional exploration. So the 1.7 million is going to see us through to the end of the year. But we are going to look to finance in the late fall for next year's planned field activities.
Okay, Dale, I saw the press release, obviously 8 grams over 12 meters. That's good stuff. But what else can you tell us about the results that you got out of that drilling program?
Yeah, so part of our 5,000 meter phase 1 drilling program, we started at the Athona deposit, and we had some really solid results from that. We saw a number of holes with grades a little over a gram a ton over anything from 10 to 35 meters. And those were step out holes, so looking to expand the resource. And those results are very consistent with what we see in the defined resource already. So we demonstrated there's an expansion there. We also demonstrated there's some higher grades, in some of these structures or vein sets, grades of 17 gram a ton and two samples of 8 gram a ton, those over a meter. So we do see expansion of the deposit, and we see higher grade in these structures, The real excitement really is around Box. Box is the much bigger deposit. It's 85% of the total Goldfields resource, and just tremendous potential, to expand that. And we went about doing that this year, and have released assays from 3 of the 7 holes. And from those 3 holes, we showed a really significant expansion down dip, 220 meters down dip expansion from the mineral resource, and 100 meters down dip of any of the drilling that's ever been done across that strike of the deposit. So we're seeing this deposit, it's wide open at depth. The results we got grades of 1.5 gram a ton over significant thicknesses, 30 to 40 meters in our first 2 holes. In our third hole, we got 2 gram a ton over 21 meters. And what was important as well is that within those bigger intervals, we had some higher grades. We saw the headline of 8 gram a ton over 12 meters. We also had 8 gram a ton over 4 meters. And we're also seeing within the structures themselves in these veins, quite a number of results over 10 gram a ton. So, 14, 18, 29, up to 89 gram a ton. So that's really exciting. What we like about what we're doing at Box is that we've changed our drilling approach to the deposit. We're drilling in at a different angle to intersect these structures at higher angles. And we're also collecting oriented core data, which hasn't been done before. So we can actually measure the orientations of veins and structures, which will allow us to piece together these higher grades at depth in the deposit. What's also key, one of our holes we drilled, which is one of the deeper holes, it was mineralized to the end of the hole, and that was about 450 meters away from a historical hole that intersected 4 grams a ton over 3 meter. So we think we're dealing with a much bigger system there, and it hasn't been evaluated. So we're busy putting all this data with our new approach into our geological models, and really excited by the bigger potential on the project. And just to add in as well, those are our drilling results. We continue to looking for gold properties elsewhere on the project. We did some field work in June where we visited some of the historical occurrences. We did some sampling to verify grades. We on surface we had grades of 5, 4, 2 gram a ton. It's all in our press release. And we taking the mapping that we did associated with these areas. We're also doing a reinterpretation of the geophysical data, and we're building new models to tie into the project and the regional exploration we're looking to do, with the aim of making new discoveries on the project.
So how much did you spend on the uranium project?
It was $10,000, Matt.
Okay, so no one's going to complain about that.
That's the staking fee. It's just a low entry cost and a really unique opportunity. So, I've spoken to some of our biggest shareholders, once that news came out, and they've been delighted with, what we've put together there, and really excited about the opportunity.
Well, actually, so just on that then, actually, let's come back to uranium, because I was going to leave it, but because I do want to talk about the gold, because it's the core flagship project is,
sure.
Given what you're seeing in the market, place in terms of the way the reaction in the market. I think the last month or so has been crazy for uranium juniors. Anyone with a uranium asset, you've got people talking about doing roll-ups. There's an M&A discussion going on, and there'll be one or two new uranium companies springing out of the woodwork, I suspect, all over the world, including Africa.
Yeah,
including Africa. Do you think you need to maybe divert some resource to marketing the uranium component? Having seen the sorts of reactions you're seeing elsewhere, it's disproportionate to possibly the actual value, but you've got to play the market as well as play the mining game, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to attract interest to your story and what you're doing. So, that's certainly something we're looking at. I've had experience with Denison on that front. We know, how and where these uranium companies are, marketed, and we've certainly putting a strategy in place to do that.
Right. But you haven't done it yet. So I guess I'd love to hear you come back on and tell me the sorts of conversations that you're having. But like I say, very early days. Okay, come on, back to the gold.
Yes.
Okay. So we talked last time about, how much value's been attributed to that. And obviously today it's 23-25 million market cap, depending on the time of day. Again, you probably don't feel you've got full value for that. But so how do you go with 1.7 million dollars, between here and say later in the fall, spending that money? Or do you just say, well, I'll tell you what, we've done enough for now. We'll see what the market looks like in a couple of weeks' time. We'll raise the money no matter what, even though it's, what are you? You're sort of some 25 cents lower than the last time we spoke. Or do you say, well, actually, no, we'll just hunker down until the new year when perhaps after, tax loss season, after Christmas, it's a better time of year to have that conversation. Why are you rushing into doing it by end of fall?
Well, in terms of a raise, we've always been very disciplined. We're watching dilution. So, we do have some activities planned for very early next year. So we'll do it could be a smaller raise at this stage. Obviously, we don't want to raise a lot at a lower share price, and get enough in the bank to get us through some, winter activities. We do want to be moving forward. We do want to advance, but we also do want to be disciplined with how we spend our money and watch dilution for shareholders.
What does that mean? What do you mean? Winter activity, advance this thing forward. I mean, sometimes it's better just to hunker down, isn't it?
Well, we got, on the uranium side, we've put in permits for a ground geophysical magnetic survey, as well as a drilling permit, which, we're not sure when we will drill. It could be late winter, it could be summer. And then on the gold side, we are, from the results we're seeing from Box already, we are looking at some phase 2 drilling to follow up on some of those good results we've had. So we would like to go into the new year with some money in the treasury, but obviously do that in a disciplined fashion, and obviously look to do the bigger raises, as we get our share price up.
Okay, so I can understand wanting to spend the money in the uranium because the market's gone a bit crazy with Sput doing all of that buying. Uranium,
yeah,
I get it. People are looking at that. People are looking at uranium and not gold. Some CEOs are telling me. So why the need to go and do more drilling on the gold whenever you're putting out headlines like you've done and the market's gone? Great, but so what?
We outlined a plan to do a phase 1 and then a phase 2 drilling. Phase 2 was always contingent on those phase 1 results. Phase 1, we said to the market 5,000 meters. We're drilling just over 5,000 meters. We've done what we promised. A phase 2 program on the back of those results, we would like to start that process. Even if it's a fairly modest drilling program in the winter, we feel it's important. The gold price is down right now, but I think there could be signs of life. We certainly, I think, seeing that in certain parts of the market. It hasn't come back yet, but I think we got to keep moving that project forward. We want to be in a good position when gold does come back, and we've got the right set of results, and we can move them quickly into our PEA or PFS study.
Right. But at a certain size, you've got to react to also market conditions and the variables that not that you hope will happen. And if you're at that level of cash, your market cap as you're on, you're not really going to want to be rushing into a diluted fundraise. I appreciate that it might be a small raise to allow you to do stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the way we allocate our capital will be, based on what the markets are doing. Once we've done the raise, once we've got enough to get us through, keep our story moving forward, we'll be looking at, the split or the allocation between what we do on the uranium side and what we do on the gold side. It's obviously we've got to look at those factors.
How are you enjoying life down here at the lower end of the juniors compared to Denison in terms of decision making?
Yeah, it's good. I think it's challenging. I think it's a great opportunity to take something, make it your own and create value. And I think it's not easy. We see lots of companies out there, not many of them succeed, but therein lies the challenge. And I'm really enjoying that. It certainly is challenging. And being a CEO of a small company, you end up doing a lot of things, right? But it's fun. I work with a great team of guys, and you're involved with all aspects of the business. So I'm really enjoying my time, and we've got a really motivated crew, and we're really excited for where we plan to go.
Yeah, no, it's very, very exciting, and it's hard work, and I'm sure there'll be a few nights sleeping at the office, but that's what entrepreneurs do. But I'm really kind of getting at the decision making. Have you think you've made the transfer from big company mentality to small company mentality in terms of how the decisions are made? You don't have, because you plan something doesn't mean that has to happen, because things get in the way. Little fires break out, or the market changes, or actually there's a better, like you just done with Uranium City, a better opportunity presents itself. You get a little bit of flexibility, I think, from the market. So have you made that mental leap, that change in decision making?
Well, I don't think it's been, certainly my approach and my nature is always been entrepreneurial, flexibility. In a company like Denison, it's got a market cap now of around 1.5, 1.6 billion.
Since you left, wasn't it? Did it start? Was it when you left? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think it's all the great work we put in, but
the groundwork. Yeah, good.
Yeah, but no, it's Denison, when I was part of it, it's a very entrepreneurial group that's had flexibility and it's done exceptionally well, I think, because of that approach. So my switch, it hasn't really been a huge change in culture for me. I'm an entrepreneur in a sense, looking for opportunities in exploration. I did that with Denison. We had success there with 2 discoveries, and doing that again with Fortune Bay.
Okay, so let's go to Mexico. Are you any closer to finding a partner?
Yeah, there's certainly interest. Yeah, I can't say too much about that, but we've certainly been working on it diligently, and we hope to have something in place soon for that project. It is a really good asset. It's got fantastic exploration potential. Anyone who looks at it, realizes that it's very unique. It's geological setting. It's got a resource, and there's just a lot of exploration upside on that. It is more remote. It's southern Mexico. It does come with its own set of challenges. You need also a good social program to work there, which is across the board in Mexico. But it's not as easy to operate as Saskatchewan. So, we diligently working on that as well, in tandem with advancing our Saskatchewan assets and looking to unlock value for our shareholders with that project.
Okay, I guess we'll watch that space. Will you be staking any more uranium property?
Just have to watch the space, Matt.
I'm watching Mexico. I can't watch everything. Just tell me, are you going to be staking more uranium?
Well, where we are with our gold project, that is Canada's original uranium mining district. There's been the past producers at Gunnar, Laredo, Beaver Lodge or Eldorado mines. So a lot of uranium being produced there. A lot of it was focused on a certain style of deposit called the Beaver Lodge style of deposits. But the deposits that are related to the Athabasca Basin, the basin is just to the south there, and they haven't been fully explored for yet. And that's the exciting opportunity in that area, is you've got these EM conductors which you need for Athabasca-related deposits. And that model, it's been applied to an extent, but not fully evaluated. So there are areas that warrant definitely further work, and some areas that have, if you go to our tech report, you'll look on our Goldfields property, there's obviously opportunities there on the uranium side too. Our gold deposits don't have uranium, which is obviously good. They're very clean, metallurgically simple gold deposits, but the geology outside of that area does have other potential, and that's that is in our tech report. So of course we'll keep to look on opportunities as we'll always do.
I was just wondering if next time we speak, I'll be speaking to Canada's next big uranium company, or are we still going to be talking the language of gold? It's a mystery. We have to wait to find out. But look, Dale, I appreciate the update. I mean, well done on the uranium stuff. That'd be really interesting to see how you move that forward, in whichever way you do move it forward. And I do hope you do some more drilling and try and work out exactly what we're looking there at Box as well. So appreciate your time. Stay in touch. We'll speak to you soon.
Great, Matt. Very nice to catch up.